Hey, what's going on? We're back here with another video once again, and in this episode I want to talk about, just briefly, about how jazz has influenced my style over the decades and over the years, and how it's seeped into my fingerstyle playing. Now, I want to make it clear, I'm not a jazz player by profession. Basically, I didn't get interested in jazz until I was probably in high school. When I was a kid, the earliest jazz record I remember hearing around the house was a guy named Joe Morello, a drummer. And I didn't really think too much about it at the time, but as the years progressed and I got more serious about my guitar playing, then I got introduced to three main players that really changed the way I heard guitar, and that was Tuck Andrus, Lee Ritenour, and Pat Metheny. Those were the three I got introduced to in high school. It really just was like a wow moment, kind of like a eureka moment. And I had a teacher that had a video of Lee Ritenour live at the Coconut Grove. You can see it here on YouTube. It's still great. And he has all these guests and famous musicians like Steve Lukather. That's the first time I'd heard of Steve Lukather. And I got to meet Steve Lukather about 10 years later after that, which was a great experience. And then like Anthony Jackson, Bob James, and then of course Tuck Andrus, who was just completely blew my mind. These guys were like, these jazz virtuosos were like gods to me. Especially upon hearing Pat Metheny's album called Secret Story, which to this day I still consider it one of the most brilliant masterpieces I've ever heard in my life. So basically, I mean, I can still kind of play the intro of the very first jazz song that I ever learned, which was a Duke Ellington tune called Prelude to a Kiss, which goes something like this. Now, I can't remember the exact time and place where jazz started creeping into my playing, but I learned all kinds of jazz standards, such as that one. And when I started playing fingerstyle, then that naturally kind of started to take over. But what I did find was that became part of my DNA, as just kind of seeped in there naturally. And, you know, most jazz standards, you're playing the regular boxed-in standard jazz chords with a lot of sevenths, ninths, and 13ths, kind of like this. You know, stuff we've all heard. But then, as I gradually started composing songs, and I'm going to demonstrate one of them right now. There's a song, one of my songs called Highways and Daydreams, has some of these jazz chord voicings in it, like this one. So on that specific song, that chord is an F sharp chord with a flatted 7th. And that's kind of the chord that is ongoing throughout the whole song, kind of like the main motif. So it, so basically, if you took like an F sharp 13th and you started taking these notes out, like you took the 13th out, the 9th out, and you just left everything in open string with that flatted 7th in there, then you get this chord, which has kind of at the same time a folk sensibility and kind of a jazz sensibility to it. So that's it for that one. But as time passed and I got more serious about the guitar, I started listening to more and more jazz players, such as Joe Pass, Stanley Jordan, Charlie Hunter, George Benson, Alan Holdsworth, Wayne Krantz, Wes Montgomery, John Scofield, Bill Frisell. Think I only listen to jazz guitar players? Think again. I also listen to guys like Gene Ammons, Art Tatum, Bill Evans, Stan Getz, Keith Jarrett, Thelonious Monk, and Charlie Parker. Now in this song called Harbor Town, I have, it starts out an intro kind of like this. So that's that E major seventh chord. And then when I move my pinky to the 4th fret, it automatically becomes an E flat major. When I move it back to the third fret, suddenly it becomes that E major 7th chord again, or E flat. I'm sorry, E flat major 7. So that was kind of like something I threw in there. That was otherwise just a completely melodic major song. Kind of gives it some tension there, you know. And the last one I just want to demonstrate really quick is a song called Where Castles Meet the Sky, and the intro starts out like this. And by the way, you can I'll include links to these songs that I'm playing, so you can the videos have already been made for them, and I will include the links to them so you can see them in their entirety if you wish. So this is the intro to Where Castles Meet the Sky. So those two chords, that was like an E ninth chord. You take one of those notes and let it start ringing open. Then you basically got the first chord to that song. Second chord, I'm taking that, I think it's the flat at 7th, and I'm just moving it down 1/2 step. And then I go up here. All of that is basically this right here. If I strum just like an A major chord, and then let the G string open, suddenly it becomes an A7th. So that's basically that whole passage. It's basically an A7th kind of sensibility running throughout that whole passage with that open G string just kind of droning. So that's basically the gist of it. That's how the best I'm able to explain how I infused my jazz influence with my fingerstyle playing. And I could probably go into more detail, and I probably will in the future, more videos where this kind of thing happens. So I hope I was able to explain it good enough. I'm learning to explain things, so bear with me. And if you enjoyed this video, stay tuned for the next. Stay tuned for the next stuff. And, well, we'll see you. Signing off now.